Hey everybody, Jerry here. I wanted to make a quick video to explain about how being stuck in your day trading. You'll go profitable for a couple of days, then you go negative for a couple of days, you are positive on the week, then you go negative on the next week, and then your account never really grows. And it's kind of like sometimes you'll blow accounts and you make all these emotional things. But let's just fast forward for a little bit. Let's say that you have your emotions under control. Let's say that you were past all of that, right? Let's say that you have support and resistance figured out and your trend lines figured out, and however you're trading, with or without your indicators, and you have a beautiful strategy in place, but you're not consistently profitable. You'll have a red Monday, a green Tuesday, a green Wednesday, a red Thursday, and then Friday, it's kind of like you did all this work for nothing. So I was in that same spot before, and I think every profitable trader has had these pains. So I'm going to go through what works very well for me and what I've been doing now. And I've been a profitable day trader since January of 2024. So a little over 2 years now. Sorry, a little over 18 months now of being profitable. I've been day trading since June of 23. So profitable since 24. So yeah, a little bit over 2 years. And so what works for me is I aim for a weekly target on my account, an account growth. And if you're trading 10% of your account into any one trade, a realistic goal for that would be 2% a week. If you're aiming at 15% per trade, a realistic goal would be about 2.5 to 3%. If you're aiming at a 20% of your account per trade, right? Now you'd be aiming at a 4% weekly growth, and you're going to compound that week after week, month after month. So let's say that we're starting now, coming on April 1st, we're going to start this with your sizing. And if you're not consistently profitable yet, but you're very confident in that, I would recommend 10% of your account. So we're going to aim at 2% weekly growth. So Monday morning rolls around, April 1st, or it's Wednesday morning, April 1st, whatever it's going to be. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your trade and you're going to size that at 10% of your account, and you're going to aim for this weekly goal of 2% account growth. You get stopped out roughly 12 to 15% stop loss. Your account's now negative 1.5%. This is where most people get stuck. So now what they do is they're afraid of going in too deep into the hole. So now go in at 5% of their account. So now you get a full trade on the next one. And guess what? You're still negative on the day. Right? So it's very important that when you start scaling your account and you're starting trying to grow this account, that you stay the exact size of your account until you get close to that weekly target. Now, that doesn't mean you stay the same size when you're at 1.8 of your 2% target, or you're at 1.6 of that 2% target. That's absolutely not what you do. The idea of it is to turn every trade that you take into those high quality setups that lead you towards this goal. And some trades are going to be red, and that's just the nature of the game we play. So what I would suggest is you start that Monday morning, and let's say it's a red trade. The next trade you take on Monday morning, you take it with the exact same position sizing. So if let's just say for easy math, it's 100 contracts, right? And you got stopped out. The next trade has to be 100 contracts, guys. Unless they're radically different price, right? So if one contract's 180 and the next ones are like $1.30 or $1.45, then you'd have to up the size to balance that to the same pricing, right? But let's just say that the first trade was $1.55 contracts and you got stopped out. The next trade is going to be $1.62 on your contracts. Stay at the same 100 positions and sizing, right? And now you're aiming to get that account to that 2% weekly target. So let's say you get stopped. So now you're down 1.5% on the day with a 15% stop. The next trade you take, let's say you get a half off and break even, it brings you back to 0.75. And now it's Monday morning sessions over, and you're going to go into Monday afternoon's trading session window, or Wednesday morning's trading sessions window, or a Tuesday morning, the next trading day there is. You have to keep attacking that with the exact same sizing at those 100 positions to attack that 2% goal. So then let's say next trade's a full trade, and now you're at 1.5% on the trade. What would the next reasoning thing to be? Would you literally size it down to protect that? Absolutely you would. If you were 3/4 of the way or more towards that goal, you start protecting that. Or let's say that you are past that goal at 2%. Now take it from those 100 contracts, take it down to say 40 contracts, or say take it down to 20 contracts, or hell, even down to 12 contracts. And the idea of it is to compound those wins and not to give the money back until the next time, right? The next trade, when it sets up again, you take the trade and you can stay sized very aggressively. And when you start exceeding that goal, so let's say you're now at 1.7% and that smaller position size gets you to 2.1. And as you start sizing it down to protect that goal, what you want to do is now bring those contract sizings down. So if you are green on Monday morning, first trade you take, let's say that you get to 1.8. You're not at your 2% yet, but there are zero reasons that you should be taking 100 contracts on that next trade. All you're going to do is let's say the next trade is a big hit. Awesome. Now you're at 3%. Great. But let's say it's Monday morning. You take those 100 contracts, you get a full trade. You're at 1.8% in your account. You didn't get to your 2%. Protect that green morning. Bring it down to 25 or 30 contracts, something where if you do get stopped out, that you don't turn the day red. So the worst thing you can do for your psychology is have this beautiful thing where your account's up $2,500 on a Tuesday morning or a Wednesday morning. And then the next trade you take, the stop out is bigger than that. And you go from a $2,500 morning to a $500 red morning. So absolutely protect those profits at all costs, protect that goal and drive towards it. And if you're trading bigger, the math stays the same. You're trading 200 contracts. You size it down to 100. You size it down to 80. You size it down to 60 and you break it off of that. And then let's say you're very profitable in the day, your first trade you took. Let's say you got a full trade on it. And let's say you made, hypothetically, let's say you made $3,000 on the first trade, just for easy talking points, right? This is nothing more than that. This is nothing scientific about it. It's basic fifth grade math, guys. Don't fucking overthink it. You don't need your spreadsheets and all this shit that you got to think that you do to make this all work right. So you take the first trade with 200 contracts, you get a full trade, boom. Next trade, what do? You hit it with 80. Cool. Next trade, let's say it gets stopped out. So now what? What's the third trade going to be? Maybe not trade. Maybe go down to 40. Maybe stay the same at 80 again, if the math lets you stay green on the day. But if you're greedy in trading, it will burn and devastate your account. You can make a lot of money with this. You cannot make a lot of money and get rich quick. Anyone who's telling you you're going to get rich quick is absolutely insane. However, if you are disciplined and you follow the rules and you follow the system and you have a very clearly defined ranges of what you're doing, and you have a battle plan and an attack plan of how to get there, this will scale and grow really fast. $10,000 at 3.5% weekly targets. In about 3 years' time, that accounts worth almost $1 million, guys. So hear that again. $10,000 over 3 years of trading. Scaling your account at 3 to 3.5% every week is close to $1 million. There's not many business plans on earth that you can start with $10,000 and take it to $1 million in 3 years with doing nothing more than scaling the account. The same amount of time, the same amount of energy, same amount of effort, no more employees, not faster internet, not a faster computer, not a better trading view plan, not a different brokerage account. Like, it's literally the same things, the same amount of time, the same amount of effort, making more and more and more every time, every week, every month. Guys, if you guys are finding this helpful, click the link below. Feel free to drop comments in. If you want to learn how to trade from me, click the link below. We do 9 sessions a week. We do this all the time. We kill it. Talk to you guys.